So, my summer reading book was on Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. And obviously, it's a dystopian novel. And I'm going to start by saying I personally love this book because it was all about sticking it to the man and taking a peek behind the curtain, which I feel can relate a lot to nowadays. I feel like when I was reading this book, I could constantly find parallels between a book that was written over 70 years ago about a world far, far away compared to our world in 2025 who has nothing to do with this. I feel like I could find so many similarities and I could feel the same feelings as some of the characters. And I feel like that's how I knew that this book was going to be good in the first place. Because whenever a book that was like written over 70 years ago its meaning can be passed down over the years and hold the same weight as it did when it was first written, that is a great sign that a book is good. Its meaning is deep and it can relate to anyone, anywhere, because there are so many problems that this book is talking about. A quick summary of the book. Like I said, we live in this book. It's a very dystopian, high-tech, futuristic world. I'm talking every city is New York City with billboards everywhere, holograms telling you to buy, overconsumption to the max. And it's honestly, it's meant to keep its society releasing dopamine, keep the society comfortable. People don't need to think about what's actually happening. Just watch this cute video of a cat and, don't think about anything. Stay happy, keep you comfortable, keep you unknowing. That's really what the government wants to happen here. And in this world, everyone has surrounded themselves with technology, and our main character, Montag, he describes it, and he describes it with a word, and it's repeated multiple times. He's calling everything so impersonal. Like, there is no I'm gonna do this just to be nice, or I'm gonna do this because it's human to human, or this would be a nice thing to say. This is human to human contact. No, people here are very rude and very, very depressed, and the only thing that is making them happy is to overconsume, because technology is all they have, and it's keeping them obedient, and it's keeping them not thinking. And in this book, Montag is a firefighter, but unfortunately, he does not end fires, he starts them. And what I mean by that is, in this world, the government is making books illegal. Montag's job as a firefighter is to set all the books on fire. And of course, Montag does listen. He spent all his years being a firefighter. This is all he's ever known. So I thought it was kind of funny to our main character being someone who is a part of the problem. And one day, Montag meets a girl who starts to make him think. And I really like this part because it really goes to show that it only takes one person to actually make a difference. And Montag described her as a very strange girl, and he's never heard her say the things that she said. And she starts to make him think about what is actually happening. She says things like, well, my family and I talk together. My family and I sit at the dinner table and tell each other about their day. My family doesn't like to use technology. My family is happy. My family loves each other. I love my family. And Montag thought, what a strange girl. What a weird thing to say. I remember reading that and I was like, that is not a weird thing to say. I mean, you loving your family, but it only reinforced the idea that their world was not very nice. Their world was very hard and cruel, and it was very easy to fall into their government's trap. And once Montag has met this girl, she basically planted this seed of disobedience into his head. And by asking him, Montag, are you actually happy? And that question has kept him awake for nights and nights on end. He doesn't know if he's actually happy. And I feel like that was a really big turning point in this book. And so after this seed is planted, since Montag basically has an inside job, he is the person burning the books, he decides to sabotage it. I mean, it's easy. He had the perfect opportunity. And so after that, Montag kept thinking to himself, if I died today, what would I have to show for my life? And so after that point, Montag decided that he was going to rebel against the government and stop burning books. While reading this book, honestly, I feel like what Ray Bradbury really wanted to convey to the audience was how easily it is to fall into like an authoritative figure's trap. And like what I mean by that is it's easy to let people censor you. It's easy to become compliant. It's easy to slowly become brainwashed into letting someone take away your own individuality, which I feel like as people it's an important thing to have. You are your own individual person. You should be able to express that. It's honestly, most people are like, oh, I would be able to uprise against the government, and I would feel the same way too. But you see people in like North Korea that they obviously want out, but all they were told from a young age is that this is your leader, this is what's happening, and the government keeps them trapped by keeping them starved, keeping them overworked. And I know it's kind of like a crazy comparison, but I feel like it is a very good comparison to what is happening. In the book, it shows how much censoring and taking away somebody's individuality can affect someone's life in the very long run, and how draining it is, and how much it can affect an entire society as a whole to take away something as they made it seem, something as not as big as books. They talked about books like they were just pieces of toilet paper, honestly. And it just goes to show how much it can actually truly affect people as a whole. And finally, a paragraph that honestly stuck with me and really stuck out to me. It was on page 150 to 153, and it was when a character named Ganger says, "Everyone must leave something behind when he dies," my grandfather said. "A child, or a book, or a painting, or a house, something your hand touches, some way so your soul has somewhere to go when they die." And in the book, he was an old man who had many, many books, which in that world was like crazy. Like, oh, you have books. Why would you do that? You have to hide it. You have to get rid of it. But this old man he was so wise, and he said things like this all the time, where like when you die, you need to have something to show, to represent your life. Like, and this really stuck with Montag, because like I said earlier, all he could think about was, if I died today, what would that leave me? Like, what would I have to show for my life? What would happen? Would it amount to nothing? And so this old man only, pushes Montag's mind farther by saying, like, you need to have sustenance, you need to make something, you need to read, you need to express yourself. It's important. It carries you on, honestly. Like, important painters, like artists, Van Gogh, his life was art, and so now he is preserved in every single one of his paintings. He has died, but metaphorically, he's alive and well. He's going far in life. He's being talked about in every state and every continent. Like, as something as small as paintings when he was alive, nobody wanted his paintings. Nobody wanted that. But whenever he died, finally he got the recognition that he did. And it's easy. Like I said, it's easy to show the two parallels between our life and a life that was being portrayed by a tired man, a tired firefighter who had very strong feelings against his government, and he needed to figure out how to make his life better. And honestly, to wrap things up, this book was amazing. I loved it. I loved reading it. I loved the emotional roller coaster. This book made me think really hard about my life. I mean, before this, I read many books, but now it really inspired me. And maybe I'm overthinking it, but this has made me think higher about other people and higher about myself, because it makes you realize that you might not be able to live long enough to see yourself grow, to see yourself flourish. So you should do all the things that you want to do. Express yourself, read a good book, make a fantastic painting while you can express yourself. So this book really stuck with me, and I loved it very much.